Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Supershow. Top story this week, we have an event schedule for Southern Fried Gaming Expo. Southern Fried Gaming Expo is a gaming convention taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd. It's the same weekend as Gen Con, but Gen Con, I believe, is the largest gaming convention in the world, so the focus will be on newer players, people learning about the game for the first time. Events at Southern Fried Gaming Expo will be geared toward veteran players. Here's the event schedule. I'll start Friday the 31st. The convention will open at 3 p.m. At 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., there's going to be a Tornado Tag Team event. From 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., there will be a live wrestling event at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. There may be pop-up events that go on during that time, but by and large, there will be no Super Show to allow wrestling fans to check out live professional wrestling at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. From 9:45 until midnight, Friday the 31st, all of the Scramble events will start. There's going to be a United States Championship Scramble event, a Trios Scramble event, and Border Wars. Border Wars is something they've done at Southern Fried Gaming Expo for a number of years. Players group up into teams of 3. The team is usually made up of people from the same state, and they compete in matches to sort of claim glory for the state they're from. That's a rough overview of Border Wars. I'll give you more details when I have them. Saturday, the convention opens at 10 a.m. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., there will be a Deep South Tag Team event. They will use bullet rounds, and then they will have a top cut. If you're not familiar with bullet rounds, here's how they work. In normal tournaments, you have what would be called Swiss rounds. At the start of the round, people are paired up. They have a match. All of the matches in that round end, and then there are new pairings. In bullet rounds, you have the same structure to start with. Everyone's paired up. But when matches finish, the 2 people who complete their matches, or 4 if it's a tag team, in the case of the Deep South Tag Team event, those 4 report that their match is completed. They will then be paired up with teams that are also waiting for matches, teams or players that are also waiting up for matches. Ideally, players will go from match to match to match with no real break in between. In the past, this was manually paired with the Supershow scoring app. All these events, by the way, are listed currently on the Supershow scoring app. So if you want to register for them, if you're going to be at Southern Friday Gaming Expo, you can. That app will be used to do all of the pairings. From 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, August 1st, there will be an Underworld event. This will be a group stage event. Players will be grouped up into groups of 4. Each player will play the other 3 in the group. The player that has the best win-loss record in the group will advance to a top cut. From 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m., there will be another live wrestling event. And then from 9 p.m. until midnight on Saturday, August 1st, there will be a Create a Competitor tournament, where the winner of the tournament will be able to create a competitor in Supershow the Game. World Division competitors are booked. Hall of Fame Division competitors are booked. Hall of Fame Division competitors are competitors that have been used to win past Create a Competitor tournaments. This tournament will have 4 bullet rounds, and then after the bullet rounds, there will be a top cut based on records, based on win-loss records. Sunday, August 2nd, the convention will open at 10 a.m. From 11 a.m. until 1 p.m., there will be a new player tournament. Veteran players can participate, but they will sign up as coaches, and they will coach the new players in the new player tournament. During this same time, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., any remaining matches will be completed. So if there was a top cut, or say the Creative Competitor Tournament Saturday night that didn't finish Saturday night, it will complete Sunday during the remaining hours of the convention. All of the tournament top cuts, all of the finals, and then any featured matches that have not yet been completed, they will also be done during this time. That is the Southern Fried Gaming Expo event schedule. There was a graphic of this event schedule on the last episode of Talk of the Universe, so check out that graphic if you would like to have it in written form. There was also an announcement from the general manager of the Deep South Tag Team Division about the Deep South Tag Team rules. Let me run through those very quickly. Unlike general tag team formats, in the Deep South Tag Team Division, they want players to use two singles competitors that have history, make sense as a tag team. So, for example, you could play as real-life competitors that have been a tag team before. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, for example. You can play as players that have played as a tag team in real life. You could be Titan and Brimelight. You could be Practicite and Hold the Line Harry. This would also include people in the same household. You could play as Practicite, and you could play as Jean Constance, who are related. Hold the Line Harry and Tortured Vigilante, who are related. Things of that nature. There has to be some relation. Past tag team, same household, same family, potentially same wrestling promotion. They're part of the same local scene. You could have Ref Dave and the Goat Brock Smith tagging. You could have the Flame Fighter and the Zero Win Champion, or Bath Time Booker and History Making Matt Pineapple. Those would be the types of tag teams you could do. Check with General Manager Drew Madsen about this if you have questions, but that's generally how the tag teams will work if you're doing the Deep South Tag Team event Saturday at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. Sticking with tag teams, there's been an LFF Tornado Tag Team Championship match announced for Southern Fried Gaming Expo. The current champion, Brime Time, champion with the Protectors of the Light, will attempt to defend against Nick Nemesis. Nick Nemesis will use the team Kitty Corn to challenge for the championship. This is the team Nick Nemesis used to win the Tornado Tag Team Invitational event at Grand Gathering 6. As far as products for Southern Fried Gaming Expo and Gen Con, the next wave of the Grand Packs will be releasing at both Southern Fried Gaming Expo and Gen Con because they're both the same weekend. In the 1 through 27 cards in the Grand Packs, there will be 5 different possibilities for each number in the Grand Pack. So if you open the Grand Pack, you'll have a full competitor set, and you'll have a set of cards numbers 1 through 27. Of the number 1, there will be 5 different possibilities that you can pull. Of the number 2, there will be 5 different possibilities, so on and so forth. Those are the options for the 1 through 27 cards. For the competitor sets, the competitor card and the 3 finishes at number 28, number 29, and number 30. There are 15 different competitor sets in the pool. You could get one of the 15 in there at random when you buy a Wave 4 Grand Pack. Some of those competitor sets were shown on the last episode of Talk of the Universe. Check those out if you want to see the stats, the text, all that information. Here are the competitors that were shown. A new version of Big Match Pete. A new version of Black Star. A new competitor, the Eager Engineer. A variation of the Frequent Flyer, the Frequent Agent. A new competitor, Grandmaster Pain. A new version of King Kong Dundee. A new version of Foxworthy. A new version of Le Penguin. And a brand new competitor, Mr. Coldfinger. That's only 9 of the 15. I expect we'll see the others shown off potentially on the next episode of Talk of the Universe. I have one last bit of Southern Fried Gaming Expo news. If you have not yet purchased your ticket for Southern Fried Gaming Expo, there is a discount code. If you use discount code SRG at checkout, you'll save 10% off of your ticket price. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, you can use that discount code, save a little bit of money buying your tickets. CCC News. We have reached the last semifinal match in the 2025 Create a Competitor competition. El Gordo Americano versus Sundown Moon. This is the meme round. Voters can post a hashtag comment, a meme, a GIF, and or a video on Facebook and on Twitter. They can post a hashtag, a meme, or a GIF on Instagram. Posting one or more of those earns points for the person you want to see join the dude in the finals. Last time I reported on this, we had not yet seen any videos or posts from either of the two competitors in the match. Since then, a few hours before the round was supposed to start Wednesday night, we had a video from El Gordo Americano. The next day, Thursday, we had a video from Sundown Moon. I also saw a nice meme posted by El Gordo Americano. I'm glad to see things getting posted. I wish they would do that a little earlier to build up hype for when the match launches. But something is better than nothing. I'm glad they did something. The round did start a bit late. The posts did not get up until Thursday. They were supposed to go live 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, July 8th, and end 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, July 12th. They didn't really start until sometime Thursday morning. I did a quick count of the score around 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Let me give you the results of that quick count. This is unofficial. This is how I have it scored. For Sundown Moon, I have her with 118 points across all 3 platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For El Gordo Americano, across all 3 platforms, I have him with 132 points. So only 14 points by my count separating El Gordo Americano and Sundown Moon, with El Gordo Americano currently in the lead. Since I did that count, there have been some additional votes for both sides, but just doing a quick eyeball test, El Gordo Americano is still in the lead. Now, a lot of things can happen. There are still quite a few hours left in the voting period, and it's that close, so we could see Sundown Moon win it, but right now she is just a little behind. Here are the biggest things I'm seeing. First off, And this is a relatively new rule change. This happened last year. They changed the rules so that if you want your hashtag points to count, the hashtag has to be in a comment by itself. So if you're voting for Sundown Moon and you post hashtag Sundown Moon and a GIF in the same comment, only the GIF points count. That's only 3 points for the GIF alone, not 4 points, 3 for the GIF, 1 for the hashtag. You have to put the hashtag in a separate comment. You can still have the hashtag and the GIF together if you want to make sure people know that GIF is for who you're voting for. But if you want the hashtag point to count, the hashtag has to be in a separate comment. When I did my count, every time there was a post where it was the hashtag and a GIF or hashtag and meme, I just counted the meme, I just counted the GIF, I just counted the video. I only counted hashtag points if the hashtag was by itself, because that is, as of the 2024 CCC, the rule. Now, when they actually officially count it, they may count it differently. But per discussions I had with Steve Resk, with Patrick Mulligan in 2024 about how the scoring is supposed to work, that was determined to be the scoring going forward from the time of that discussion. Prior to that, it counted. If you put a hashtag and the GIF in one comment, that was 4 points. Now, under the current scoring, as I understand it, only 3 hashtag points have to be in a separate comment. The other thing I noticed from this particular round as opposed to last round, there is a lot less participation on Instagram and a lot less on Twitter. At the time I did my count, only 1 person had voted on Twitter. There were only 16 comments casting votes on Instagram. There are technically 17 comments, but one of those is from the sketch artist, where there's no vote recorded. Those are the current standings in the 2025 CCC final semifinal match. El Gordo Americano slightly leading Sundown Moon, but too close to call at this point. I will be watching to see what the official result is. I assume it will be announced on the next episode of Talk of the Universe this upcoming Wednesday. It's too close to call at this point. But by my count, El Gordo Americano with a slight lead. I have a little championship news. First, I have a date for the next Veterans Championship match. The next Veterans Championship match will be next Sunday, July 19th. Challenger Spencer Vance will take on the current champion, Gene Kenny. The winner of this match will have to defend against Jacob Johnson from WTF Nation Radio at some point in the future. He has the next shot after Spencer Vance. There's also been an update regarding future contender tournament structure. They're going to be debuting a new single elimination format for number 1 contender tournaments on the Supershow scoring app. The first tournament that's going to be run under this new standard is a contender tournament for the LFF World Heavyweight Championship. As of right now, there will be 24 players in that tournament. 8 players will be chosen by the powers that be. They will get a bye into the round of 16. The other 16 spots will be available for sale on supershowthegame.com. The 16 players who buy in will be paired up into 8 singles matches, and the winners of those singles matches will then face the players who received buys in the round of 16. That is the news that I have for you this week outside of the online tournament and featured match results. So let me go through those now. I'll start Monday with Monday Night Fights. Monday Night Fights was an Underworld Division event. World Division competitors booked. All other singles competitors legal, subject to 2020 vision. 9 players played in 4 bullet rounds, and then after those bullet rounds, there was a cut to a top 4. In the semifinal round of the tournament, all the matches were New York rules matches. The finals match, and I think the third place match as well, were both Strike Club matches. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as Titan of the Northeast, Sam Stanton. In 3rd place, playing as Colby W. Cram, the chosen one himself, Colby Cram. In 2nd place, playing as the original version of the Rising Sun, HR, and the winner of Monday Night Fights, playing as Math Guy, Zach Ashley. Congratulations to Zach Ashley for winning Monday Night Fights. Thursday, we had Thursday Night Boss Fights, open division event, all singles competitors legal, subject to 2020 vision. 18 players played in 4 bullet rounds. After those 4 bullet rounds, there was a cut to a top 8. In the quarterfinal round, all of the matches were kendo stick matches. In the semifinal round, all of the matches were New York rules matches. The finals match was a Psycho Circus match. I do not believe there was a third place match. Your semifinalists were Robert the Brain Dunn as Big Bad Bobby D, and HR as the original version of the Rising Sun. Your finalists were Shannon Stevens as Mysterious versus Zach Ashley as Ariel Lipstick, with the winner, Zach Ashley. Congratulations to Zach Ashley for winning Thursday Night Fights. Congratulations to Zach Ashley for winning both of the main tournaments in the week. Always a big deal when one player wins both tournaments. Friday, there was a pop-up tournament hosted by the Cheetah. World Division and Underworld Division competitors were booked. All of the singles competitors were legal, subject to 2020 vision. 6 players played 3 bullet rounds, and then after those bullet rounds, there was a cut to a top 4. All of the matches in the top cut, the semifinal matches, the finals match, and the third place match, all of those were New York rules matches. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as Pride himself. In 3rd place, playing as Gold Lust, Shannon Stevens. In 2nd place, playing as Aurora, Ace of the Air, Ron Rumble, and the winner of the Friday night pop-up event, playing as Jacob Fatu, Doug Russell. Congratulations to Doug Russell, relatively newer player, for winning the Friday night pop-up event. There was also a veterans event that was, I believe, Friday night. Only 2 people ended up playing in the veterans event, Ed Galvao and Brandon Kong. They played 1 match. The winner via countout was Brandon Kong. Congratulations to Brandon Kong for winning the veterans event. Sunday, we had Sunday Night Fights. 4 matches on the card for Sunday Night Fights. The opening match ends up being a match for the LFF Hardcore Championship. The challenger, the Hidden Threat, playing as the Hidden Threat, takes on champion Eddie Fury, playing as Eddie Fury. It's a no disqualification match. It ends up going to crowd meter 4, although most of that increase in the crowd meter was due to the champion playing cards that increased the crowd meter. And that paid off for him because at crowd meter 4, he hits his finish, rolls a 14, and successfully defends the championship. Congratulations to Eddie Fury for retaining the LFF Hardcore Championship. The second match of the night is a match for the LFF Underworld Championship. The challenger, Ricky Riot, challenging with Sammy the Draw Callahan. The champion, Rowdy Ron, champion with Witch Hunter General. Standard singles match, hard-fought match, ends up going to Crowd Meter 2. The winner of Crowd Meter 2, new champion, Ricky Riot. Congratulations to Ricky Riot for becoming the LFF Underworld Champion. The third match of the night is for the LFF Global Championship. The challenger, John Hodges, challenging with Danhausen. The champion, Sean Loeb, champion with Swoggle. The LFF Global Championship is the championship where players use competitors based on real-life professional wrestlers. Competitors that are licensed, competitors that wrestle professionally. People like Kenny Omega, I mentioned earlier in the show. I just talked about Swoggle and Danhausen. Jacob Fatu I talked about a little bit ago. I mentioned a little while ago. Even players turned wrestlers like Steel Wool. Those are the competitors used in the LFF Global Championship. This standard singles championship match does not go past Crowd Meter 0. It's a very short match, just a few turns, with the winner, still champion, the Collector Sean Loeb. Congratulations to the Collector for a successful defense. The final match of the night is for the LFF Tri-State Championship. The challenger, relatively new player, Sean Alou, playing as Princess Anika. The champion, Google Docs Dan, playing as the Grand Pack version of Google Docs Dan. This is a New York Rules match because all LFF Tri-State Championship matches are New York Rules matches. It starts at Crowd Meter 1, it has no disqualifications, and it does not go past Crowd Meter 1. Like the previous match, it's just a few turns with the winner and new champion, Sean Alou. Congratulations to the new champion for your victory. His next challenger will be Brian, wait for it, Schmidt. That match will happen sometime in August. The winner of that match will go on to face the Italian Bombata in September. Those are the next two challengers for the LFF Tri-State Championship. We also learned that the next challenger for the LFF Global Championship will be the winner of a future LFF Global Championship Contender Tournament, done in a similar fashion to the upcoming World Heavyweight Championship Contender Tournament I talked about earlier. We also had news during the Sunday Night Fights broadcast about the Super Show Olympics. The opening rounds of the Super Show Olympics are going to be group stage rounds. There are 16 teams in the Olympics. They were randomly grouped into groups of 4 using the Super Show scoring app. There are going to be 3 rounds in the group stages. Each round will be a different pairing per group. So each group has an A team, a B team, a C team, and a D team. In the first round, it'll be A versus B and C versus D. In the second round, it'll be A versus C and B versus D. And in the final round, it'll be A versus D and B versus C. That's the breakdown. The team with the best record per group will advance. So the team with the best record in Group 1 moves on, 2 moves on, 3 moves on, 4 moves on. So after the group stages, 4 teams will advance to the top 4. The competitor draft for the Super Show Olympics had been going on this week. It wrapped up. Each team, from what I understand, drafted 6 different singles competitors. each with a different printed 10 skill. I believe each team was also restricted by divisions. They could only draft one competitor from the World Division and one competitor from the Underworld Division. Now that the draft is done and the groups have been set, teams will have until Sunday, July 26th, just before midnight, to submit their deck lists for the first round. Once the deck list submission is completed, players will have until August 9th, just before midnight that Sunday, to complete their matches for round 1. After that, teams will have 1 week to submit their deck lists and 2 weeks to play their matches for the second round and the third round in the group stages. You have to use the same deck list for an entire round, but you can change your deck list from round to round. As I mentioned previously, there will be at least 2 matches for each player. There will be the skill versus skill match, the printed Power 10 competitor player versus the printed Power 10 competitor player, technique, agility, so on and so forth. There'll be the player draft versus player draft. Your round 1 player will face the round 1 player, round 2 player versus round 2 player. And then there will be a premier player match where one premier player will be chosen by a team each round. They'll face the other team's premier player. From what I understand, the premier player cannot be the same premier player from a previous round. The premier player matches will also be stipulation matches. The first premier player match stipulation was chosen during Sunday Night Fights through a random spin of the wheel. There were 6 options. The option that was chosen at random for the first round is Ring of Fire. The premier player matches in round 1 will be Ring of Fire matches. Coming up for next week, we should have Monday Night Fights on Monday. It will be an open division event. The finals match will be a Raven's Blood Cemetery match. There should be Dojo Tuesday night, twitch.tv/srguniverse. There should be Talk of the Universe on Wednesday. There should be Expanding the Universe Thursday midday. There should be Thursday night boss fights or some other Thursday night fights iteration. And this Friday, there should be 2 shows on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel. We should have Ignite, and then after Ignite, we should have Star Power. For any other potential pop-up tournaments, things of that nature, watch the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook. Watch supershowthegame.com. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I would like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.